Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode. I think this is episode number 21, somewhere along there. I feel like I'm making up stuff here. You know,
That happens
we've
these
been,
days sometimes.
we've been at, we know we've been doing a lot. Uh,
Yeah.
so, so like I said, I'm not quite sure which week we're in, but it's probably, what's this here? 5. Okay. So we started beginning part of December with
So
this. So
it's at
everyone,
least
welcome.
17, 18, maybe 19, something like that.
No, we're going to give it 20. I'm going to fast forward. So we're 20,
It's
we'll split the
20th
difference this
level.
week 20.
That's
But
great.
we've been having a lot of fun learning, helping a lot of people. Again, welcome to the podcast. I'm one part of your host party. I am Jessie Bowen, and I have with my co-partner here, we have Coach Nathan Ray. So how you been doing, sir?
Happy, radiant, free, shining bright like diamonds, flying the friendly skies. Just came back from a great time in Colorado with some great martial artists from all over the world out there with Grandmaster Stephen Oliver and Grandmaster Jeff Smith. And we just had a wonderful event. And it's always good to get in the room with people who are making moves and growing. So they stretched me a lot. And so I got in last night, and it was a good experience. You know me, all along the way, made lots of new friends and connected with a lot of great people. And, because I think that's a big part of what we need to do as martial artists, be ambassadors wherever we go and serve people no matter where we are. So I always, as we say, little Nate's adventures,
Well, we have been doing a lot this year, and it's been a really great year. And the great thing is we've had a chance to talk with people, meet with people, share what the power to live your vision is really about. So
Right.
each week we come on and we try to share our life experience. These are things that we're doing in our own lives. And again, Christmas, we decided, hey, let's go do something together. We talk about every day anyway. Well, we might as well. And we talk about the same thing that we're doing in the podcast. How can we get better sharing information? So we want to share that with you. Now, if you haven't checked it out yet, we have launched our website. So we are doing things. So the website, the power to live your vision.com. So, check out the website and if you order a copy of our upcoming book, we have a book coming out. Guess what the name of the book is? The book is called The Power to Live Your Vision.
Live your vision.
Yeah. So if you order a copy of the book, we're going to give you a $500 hotel savings card. So this is for the first 20 people. And if
oh, that's great. I could have used that. I could have used that on my trip, Hanshi. What's up? I would have bought a copy.
I know, but do the math on it. $500, first 20 people, that's $10,000. So,
wow.
So hey, so that's what we're doing as a part of our book launch. So, get a copy of our new book coming up, The Power to Live Your Vision. It's great stuff in there. There's going to be an audio program to it also. So check it out. So Nathan, we chose as our topic today. I feel like I'm in a Shakespeare play here. To be or not to be, the power of real decisions. So that's going to be our topic, for today.
You got poetic on us this week, huh?
Yeah. Well, I spent all that creative time with the website. So to be or not to be.
And everyone should check out the website. I mean, Elite Publications is doing it. That website looks great, and it should be really easy for everyone to navigate and get around. Just some beautiful work there with that. So you all check it out for sure.
And it's really interactive. We've got blog posts going on, our upcoming seminars. So we're both martial artists and grandmasters in the martial arts. We're both success coaches. We're, goal success coach, mental performance coaches. I was on staff at Duke University for 29 years. teaching empowerment training and also executive empowerment training. So we're really trying to share some things. So check out the website. You can listen to the podcast from there.
Yeah.
Give us a vote, on the website and let us know. Share with your friends. And we're trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah. And some reviews on the podcast would be great. If y'all will hook us up with a 5-star review, that'd be great. So we want to get that in too.
Yeah, and remember, so we're all over the place. So now we're on Spotify, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, of course, Instagram,
Apple.
LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, Roku TV. So our podcast is growing, our subscription is growing because we got a message for you. So to be or not to be, the power of real decisions. So in this podcast today, we really want to talk about that real decisions. And most times we miss the boat, we miss our blessing, we miss the thing that life really has for us because of the decisions or non-decisions that we make. So when you are not making decisions, then you are going into a state of procrastination.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Napoleon. Yeah, exactly. That's it right there. The opposite of making a decision is procrastination. For a long time, I didn't really relate the two or even think about the opposites, but very often the power of what you're looking for is right in front of your face. It's the same thing, just on the opposite side. Just like you have hot on one side and cold. They're both temperature. They're just on different ends of the spectrum. So, knowing that someone who did a great work like Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill, he gave a whole chapter to the subject of decision, and so, yeah, it's vital that we kind of get educated on what that really is, what that really looks like. Because I think a lot of times people are confused on knowing the difference between those two.
Right. And that's what you really want to realize is that what's happening in your life, it's not that something may be going wrong. It's not that your business is not growing. It's not that you're not getting the success you're looking for, but there are other things that go into our daily process, making success. Some people talk about someday I will, but success and purpose, these things are transformational. And they continue to build that decision-making capability. So in essence, it's about really committing to something. So is there something that you're working on or something that you want to do that you really want to have? So you have to commit to it. So when you commit to it, you start to bring it into a vision, into a purpose when you make a commitment.
Well, I mean, that commitment is vital because that's what keeps it in your mind. That keeps you keep the target in your mind because it becomes not just a decision at that point. When you really make a decision, you start to have a level of passion about it, and that keeps our conscious mind full of the thought of it. And then it starts to drip into our subconscious mind where it can affect the body, and we can get on frequency and attract and be a part of that process without trying to control the process, but be a part of the process to manifest it. So yeah, that's absolutely right.
And what happens is your indecision, it is the silent dream killer. So you may have a great idea, whether you got it from AI or had a dream, had a dream about it, or had a dream about it. But if you don't take actions on your dream, so that's what we really want to talk about today. So what's going on right now in your life? What are your goals? What's the thing you want? You have not because you ask not. So you have to ask within yourself, what are the things that I want? And then you have to make a decision. So, and again, we have indecisions are made because there's no vision. So there's no way we can get beyond that word of vision, the power to live your vision, because vision is being able to see it. Now, whether you write it down, you got it on a vision board in front of you, whatever you need, whatever you can do to keep that in front of you so you know exactly what you're moving towards. And this is also broken down to the difference between your interest and your commitment. I may have
Right.
an interest in being successful, but am I committed? And that's the key word, is having a committed attitude and committed actions to what you're looking for.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you're just kind of dipping your toes in, and there are different levels to it. I mean, you can have a hobby, but that's that's a different level than being working to be a professional, you know. Um, and then I mean, then you start talking about clarity, what you mentioned, having a clear vision. Because if you don't know what you want, how would you ever get it? It's just this kind of simple math. And I think a lot of this is very simple and easy. However, just because it's simple to do doesn't mean that everyone is jumping on it. It's important to do the simple things because they're the easiest to pass by, right? So embracing the simple, just like making a decision, is actually a very simple act. It's just, it's not hard. Uh, However, it does take that commitment you're talking about. And then once you're all in, then the journey begins, then you start talking about, what is the thought process behind it, and we know, there's a few things that tend to pop up, like fear and doubt, comfort zone delays. I know we were talking about some other subjects we're going to get into, one of them being the comfort zone. So where do you land on that, Hanchi? How fear and doubt and those comfort zones delay actions and things of that nature.
Well, myself personally, I love challenges. I love I love challenges. So there's,
Yes, you do.
fear. I have no fear. I have
All
no,
right. That's what I'm
because
talking
what
about.
I see, the things that I may fear are the doorways to my opportunity. I may not understand or I may not know, but it's an opportunity. And you see, your life is made up of opportunities. How many did you take? How
Right.
many, opportunities were there? I remember when I was at Duke University and I was bowling and I was, doing some tournament play and league play and all of that. And I was in a meeting and my boss asked me, you know, Jessie, you bowl, don't you? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, how would you like to be the bowling coach at Duke University? I'm going, really, dude? Like, what am I supposed to say? You asked me, do I want to be the bowling instructor at Duke University? I'm
Wow.
going, I'm going, yes, sir, I'd love that. He says, hey, listen here, why don't you write me up a syllabus and, give it to me. Let me submit it and let's see what happens. I said, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Now I didn't know a thing about teaching bowling. I
Right.
knew how to
Well,
bowl. Now, see, that's a key element there.
but you were already a master teacher in karate too, correct?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, but when you're always doing martial arts, you put it on, you don't take it off. You're
Right.
always doing it. But the thing that I wanted to bring out, it was the opportunity
Right.
that I
Yeah.
was not qualified for at the moment. He
Right.
never asked me, are you qualified? He
That's
never
good.
asked me that. He asked me if I wanted to be the instructor.
Right.
And I said, yes, sir. So they submitted it and it was approved, but I still didn't know a thing in the world about teaching bowling.
Right.
So what did I do? I went and enrolled into the USA bowling program and became a certified bowling coach. So
Yes.
I went to get that information, but I didn't have it when the opportunity came about. So
That
you'll
is
have
good.
you have opportunities that present themselves to you, and you go, well, I'm not really qualified for that. I'm qualified. They said, Jessie, you want to fly the next space shuttle? Yes. Yeah, I want to do that. I'm joking now. I'm not sure I really want to do that. But that's what I'm saying is that
But what you're saying
opportunity.
is true. I mean, you never know when opportunity is gonna knock, And if you don't have the self-image and the confidence built up in yourself, you can absolutely miss a big and you can't get a guarantee to ever get it back. There's no guarantee. There's a statement in Japanese that my host father gave me when I was living there right after high school. I was an exchange student. We sat together and had great conversation. And he before I left Japan, he said, I have a 35-year to 40-year assignment for you. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, I want you to think about this saying, and throughout your life and as you're going forward, come back to it and think about it. And the phrase is Ichigo Ichie, one chance, one opportunity. And after all of these years, since 1989, I contemplate and meditate on that. And it goes back to what you just said, having the presence of mind to step up when what you've been asking for all along is showing up, because it might not show up how you exactly have it in your head, but when it shows up, having the presence of mind to go ahead and receive the blessing you've been praying for. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people pray and hope for things and do all of this, but I don't think there's never a time when it's not answered. But it just might not look like they had it in their own head, but it doesn't mean that the opportunity didn't show up. So it's really about preparing yourself to even be ready in the moment to say yes. You were prepared because you knew something about yourself, that you're not afraid to jump out there and go after it. And it's okay. You didn't have to be qualified in that moment, but you made sure you were qualified as the time came. And I draw on Napoleon Hill because I'm studying Think and Grow Rich every day. He had a similar situation like yourself. Napoleon Hill, when Andrew Carnegie, the richest man in the world at the time, was talking with him, stayed at his house for 3 days doing an interview. And Andrew Carnegie said, hey, he proposed Think and Grow Rich. He proposed doing a philosophy of success to him. Would he spend 20 to 25 years? And then told him, I'm not going to pay you. I'm not giving you money to do it either. He said, I'll introduce you to the people, but I'm not going to pay you to do this. Would you give 20? And he said, Andrew Carnegie later told him that he gave him 1 minute in his mind. He said, if he didn't have the presence of mind to make a real decision in 1 minute, that he was going to take it away from him. And he said that as he sat there, he said one of the things that came to his mind is, this is a man who has done what he has done, and he knows people. And he sees something in me that I don't even see in myself, but I'm no dummy. If he's saying it and offering it to me, and he said it took him about 35, I think he said it took him about 35, 40 seconds. And he said, yes, sir. So he was just like you. You were just like him. In that moment, would you be the bowling coach? Yes, sir. So, man, you got me fired up over here. I got my notebook out. I'm writing, so I'm going to write some things. I'm ready for my next opportunity.
But the question becomes, and that is the question, what opportunity? You have an opportunity now if you're listening to our podcast today. So the opportunity is, if you go over to our brand new website and be one of the first 20 people that pre-orders a copy of our book, I think it's $24.95. I'm going to give you a $500 hotel savings card. Now let's do the math on that. If you travel, give it to somebody else, give it to someone as a birthday present. We don't really care, but it's an opportunity. So yep. What do you do? And what is the value of it? I was paid thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars to be the bowling coach. I was the bowling coach for about 19 years,
wow.
At Duke. From that one opportunity, and which then moved me up, and it made me better because it made me confident. It made me knowledgeable. I turned pro on the PBA tour in 2002, April 15th, 2002. I dropped my tax return in the mail, and I dropped my application to become a PBA bowler, a professional bowler.
Yes,
So
sir.
because that one little thing, it kept moving up. So in your life, if you'll take that one little thing that someone may say is too small, but you say it's just the right size, and now that begins to move you forward. So, not having fear nor doubt, that you're blessed to be in a place of opportunity. And when you will walk through the door of uncertainty, that opens that door up. And what is the cost of not deciding? Now, if I had said to Al Bueller, well, sir, I really got to think about that. Let me think about it for a month. Let me, that would have never happened.
Be a different history.
Well, and again, you have these things. That's why I said the action takers. And I'm, talking about Duke University and work, having to being blessed to work there, and teaching martial arts. But the first time Al Bueller called me, and I had 3 martial arts schools, and he called me and says, well, we want to start our martial arts program and in physical education, and we want to offer you the position. I'm going, okay, and I'm going to haggle. Well, let me think about it. You know what he said to me?
No, what?
He said, well, this is Duke University. And I'm going like, boom. You're like, I'll take the job. That was already no haggle, because I was presented with an opportunity. And if I walked away from that, he would probably think I was crazy.
And you might have been.
I might have been. Might have been. But that's what we're talking about, everyone. We're talking about how many opportunities today is in front of you. What about that decision to be or not to be? Do you want to be great, or do you not want to be great? Do you want to design something, build something, have something? You actually have a choice, and that choice is the decision, but you must definitely remove the fear. And how do you remove the fear? Then meditate, have some goals, have some visions, accomplish those small things and continue to build yourself up. Go to that next level. In the martial arts, the belt ranking system is the first goal setting system. If you're a white belt, the next thing you want to do is become a yellow belt. The next thing you want to do is become a blue belt. So the martial arts study is one of the most powerful goal setting and achievement systems that you can actually be a part of.
Yes, sir. Well, man, you said so much goodness in that. I'm going to go back to meditation and visualization. I was just this morning looking, doing some study online and on YouTube, watching a video from Bruce Lee, and it was talking about his extreme training regimen and how he trained his mind, and he was doing these, 1,000 kicks a day, pushing it to the limit, et cetera, et cetera. But the thing that really stood out to me, though, was when he was doing his day, they were going through his daily schedule, and he had these big blocks of physical training, but he really put time into visualization and mental rehearsing. And it was saying that how he had shared that he mentally rehearsed and became so good at it that he literally had the confidence that he could learn and do anything that he could see in his mind, whatever it was. And it showed him, some different scenes where he was just either laid back in a pool chair or sitting formally, whatever it was, though. Taking out a couple of out, he took out, according to this story, he took out a couple of hours a day where he just would sit and get quiet. And it doesn't mean you ever have to do those things at one big block either. I mean, even if you take, I mean, I pulled over and had a thought and just pull over side the road and close my eyes for about 30 seconds and just picture it so I could just put it there, right? So it could take all different kinds of forms, but that definitely, I like what you said there about the meditation and the visualization, especially. And I think I'm learning some things, and one of the things is kind of like what we call the Parthenon effect. We talk about it in marketing, doing multiple things all at once. I don't think that we have to pick and choose one mechanism because you never know which one is really going to land. It could be the journaling. It could be, why not do all of it? Why not do the journaling, the visualization, the target and goal setting? Why not do it all? Because in the end, you'll know what you want to focus on. You'll see what you're weaker at. You can challenge yourself to get stronger at. So, yeah, yeah, I like that. That's very good.
And as we begin to go into our wrap up, so everyone remember, Coach Nathan's always taking notes. I tell people, listen to something over and over and over again. This podcast is sponsored by Elite Publications. Go check out our website, www.elitepublications.org. Everyone has a story. You just have to get it out. So I'm going to go through a couple things that I have in my notes here. Now,
Yes,
this
sir.
is going to be in the book. So the things we're talking about doing here, this is the book. So the podcast that we're doing, all of these things we're talking about, this is what's going to be in the book. So the book is going to be a motivational personal development training book. Every day you got a lesson. All you got to do, everything is laid out. All you have to do is follow through. The cost of not decision, you have to weigh that. The missed opportunities, the delayed of success, emotional and financial sequence of inaction. If you don't have, then the question is, are you asking? And I said, well, how much, when we talk about business, how much revenue do you want to create? How would you like to make $10,000 in one day? $10,000 in one day? Yeah, you can make $10,000 in one day. Create a product that has a $1,000 value. Build your list of 30 people, good potentials, and you need 10 of those people to actually buy your project. 10 people who buy your project, and your project pricing is $1,000. So you've made $10,000 in that one day. You can make $50,000, $100,000 in a week. But you see, you have to understand it still comes back and it connects to value. What is the value of your service? What is the value of your product? What is that value that you place on it? So you want to think about how to be able to do that. Decisions represents the identity. How's your decision shaping who you are becoming? Your decisions, how is it shaping who you are becoming? And then we have, do you want to become successful? You decide to be successful. So if someone says, well, I really would like to be successful, well, make the decision. Train to take the training, whatever it takes. You do that to be able to make that goal. You want to be successful in business, you want to have a successful relationship. It doesn't matter, success is success, but it's also defined to you. And then we have building a success identity through consistent choices. Okay, so that's what you really have to do. Is just not random. You have to understand what your options are, and then you make that decision. But you want to be consistent with your choices. You don't want to be hit and miss. You want to be consistent with your messaging.
Well, I think, one of the big challenges with that for a lot of folks, I don't care what it is. I've attended golf school, and the teachers will always ask, what do you want the most? And majority of people put up, hey, I want a consistent game. I want a consistent great game. And is it the same in bowling?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so why would it be different with success, right? Because we say success principles. Why? Because this is just one of the principles that's necessary to get to your end game, right? So that consistency. Any keys on that off
Well,
top?
yeah, we come back to visualization and what I used to do in bowling, you know, and when I got involved in bowling and looking to the next game, I added some things into what I was doing. I began to study. I've always studied the mental aspect. So I went through a program that was called Silva Method. It used to be called Silva Mind Control back in the day. Now it's called Silva Life System. And that program is very powerful for helping you to be able to focus in on what you're doing. And then I actually took courses and became a certified sports hypnosis coach. Now, everybody thinks about hypnosis as that acting thing and suggestive thing. Well, but see, hypnosis is at a deeper state of mind. Sometimes to remove that thing that's prohibiting you from succeeding is so deep that you have to go into a deeper level of mind to be able to remove those things. So the more that you understand that my subconscious and the thoughts I'm having, remember, scientists say that we have over 70,000 thoughts per day. That is a lot of thinking. So the question becomes, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? What are the decisions that you're making in this? What is influencing your decisions? And Nathan and I, this morning, I was taking my 30 minutes to get out of bed or so, and I was strolling through, and there was a lady on. She was a minister, and she was talking about the seeds that we sow through our words, the words that we speak and the words that we hear. And she was going on to say that how important it is that we put ourselves in that positive level of the things that we're hearing, and the things that we hear could be negative, but it also shapes our negative belief too. So when you overboard on negative things from whether it's the news or whatever, then that becomes what's drawn into your life. If you're reading the Napoleon Hill or you're doing things like that, that has the same effect, but on the other side, it's building your confidence. So we sow our seeds through our words, and then we have to come back and reap those things.
Yeah, yes. I mean, we're actively working on that in the school. I'm working with the parents and the children, not just the children, but also it's vital that, if you can have a household that is in that vibration, then now you got a household who's magnetizing that. And it's definitely those words. If you read the book "What to Say When You Talk to Yourself" by Dr. Shad Hemstetter, for the audience, check it out. That's a really great way to start growing up, leveling your awareness. A lot of this is about being aware, because if you ask a lot of people and you say, "Hey, are you positive?" They would go, "Yeah, I'm very positive." But in fact, a lot of times your negativity can be disguised, and we got to be careful about those words. So I definitely agree with you on that.
And when we and the other thing that really really will help us is, again, it's coming back to commitment. Old sensei, my teacher, used to tell the story, about I think it was the Greeks that they burned their ships, because when they go to conquer a land, they burn, because it's only victory or defeat. So, burning the bridge, going all in on your vision. So if you've got something to do, don't hold one hand trying to move forward, but you have the other hand holding on to the back door, but you're trying to get to the front door, and you cannot drag that door in that building forward. You have to let go. You have to commit. I tell folks that know me pretty much know, it's the dog in the bone. I get
you gotta have some dog in you.
It's over. There's no returning. That's the reason why I tell, in combative situation, are you willing to commit? I'm willing to commit. Are you willing to commit? And that's what you have to do with your goals. You got to be able to commit with them. You write them down, but are you committed? Do you have the discipline, to daily proof of your decisions? And that's what you look for. If you are doing something, you want to be able to have, the proof. There should be. That's why you have planning, that you can check off those steps and you can see yourself succeeding. The black belt philosophy of decide, your decision, repetition, and mastery. So think about that for a second. The black belt philosophy: decision, repetition, and mastery. And how do you train to build confidence in decision making? Well, you make decisions. That's how you train for confidence.
Yeah, you do it.
What did Nike say? Just do it, right?
Just do it.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's right. I like that, Hanshi. That's great. You
And then
know,
you want to be able to apply these things, whether it's in your dojo, dojang, in your life. Life is, discipline to life and business. So you have to have that discipline you want there, and then decide on and it comes back down and making that decision what you truly want. And
yeah,
set deadlines for it. Set deadlines for it. We have on our webpage, when you go there to buy your book, there's a countdown, tells you when we're going to release the book. You got to have deadlines. You have to have something that when it's going to happen. So when you go to our website, you're going to see a countdown banner to the book launch. So we know exactly when this book is going to be coming out. And so remember, get your copy. And then you want to take immediate action. So, and surround yourself, with the people of accountability.
yeah. What is that website again, Hanshi?
The power to live your vision.
.com, right?
Right, .com. THE, power to live your vision. It's our show. That's the name of the book's coming up. So go check it out. So remember, we want to give you make a purchase of our book. This is a pre-order. And when it comes out, we're going to sign your book and then send it to you. So get your copy of The Power to Live Your Vision. The book is going to be coming out. So go there. And plus, I would swap all day long. $29 for $500. I swap it all. I don't have an issue in actually doing that. So again, this is commitment. Follow us online. Follow what we're doing. We're trying to make the world a better place. We're trying to find people who want to make the world a better place. So follow what we're actually doing. Get your copy of the book, and when you order your book, and I see the order comes in, I'm going to send you a $500 hotel savings card. And we know that gas is up, but if you got a discount card for your room and everything, that you want to go to the beach or wherever, that really saves some time.
Yeah, it'll help offset things. Yeah. Gas did jump.
Gas did jump. So I guess, Nathan, as we're closing out here today, any final comments from you or what you're thinking?
I mean, the future is waiting on your decision, and we've given everyone a perfect opportunity to go ahead and start practicing. I think the biggest thing is don't act like you got all the time in the world. I think that's one of the things that I'm looking at myself on. It's really easy to fall in the delusion or the illusion that you got all the time in the world. In fact, we don't know what we got. So if we want to really, do our part, we should get after it right now. Stop procrastinating. I'll leave on that note.
Well, everyone, so remember, take action. Today is to make a decision, because you will make a decision. You'll make a decision to click the button to go to the website. You'll make the decision to actually pre-order our book, or you won't make the decision to pre-order the book. Either way, you're making a decision. Non-decision is a decision. So when you're there and you're not making a decision, you're still making a decision. So that you can't escape.
You can't escape.
You cannot escape the decision-making process. So you are making a decision. The question is, how many right decisions do you make versus how many wrong decisions do you get?
And they can also schedule on the website a coaching session, right?
Yes.
If someone's interested in that.
Right. So so when you go to the website, so you can you can schedule a class if you'd like to. Say, well, I need a coach. Can you help me? We'd love to sit down and help you create a plan and teach you about all the steps that you need to do it. Again, we've been blessed to be able to accomplish a lot of different things and opportunities, and we'd like to be able to share those things with you of how to be able to move your life forward. I am also a minister, so even if it's Christian counseling, I'm here to help you to move your life forward. Maybe there's something that I can say. Maybe there's a question that you may have. I'm here to serve. It's not a charge. I'm here to serve and to help people to make the world a better place in that. So that's what we want you to do. Do us this great big favor. Follow us. Of course, if you're looking for us online, our page is everything is the power to live your vision. So our Facebook page,
it keeps easy to keep up with.
Yeah, it's easy, and
like you said, the easy button, right?
Yeah. Nathan, I love that shirt there. We're representing the elite publications, and so remember, everyone, check out and publish your book. I'm doing a program that's called my 100 Authors. I'm looking for 100 people that want to publish their book before the end of the year. So that's my goal in helping you not just publish your book, make your book an international bestseller. So, hey, I'm Jessie Bowen, and with Coach Nathan Ray. Remember, go to our website, The Power to Live Your Vision, www.thepowertoliveyourvision.com. Pre-order a copy of your book. Now, I'm only going to let this here run for the next 2 days. So today is Tuesday. So on Thursday, this opportunity is going to come down. So don't let the opportunity pass you by. This is a good way to test yourself by taking action, ordering your copy of the book. We're going to sign it. We're going to ship it to you. And guess what? It's going to make your life better. Yep, all right, absolutely. Everyone, be blessed, and we will see you the next time.